In this quick tutorial brought to you by SoldFast.com, I'm going to walk you through how to use Trulia.com's online platform for free in order to determine the value of your home. If you're looking for your home value, Trulia actually makes it relatively straightforward to get a rough idea, and I actually like their interface quite a bit better than Zillow's. Now, it's worth pointing out they're owned by the same people. Fun fact, back in February of 2015, Zillow bought Trulia for $2.5 billion, billion with a B. We're going to go over to the sold section here, and I'm simply going to punch in the address of the property that I'm using all right. 3, 2, 1. All right, 3, 2, 1. We're going to move this over to sold, and here is where you would enter your home address. For the sake of this example, I'm going to be using 839 Ridgetop Circle Drive in St. Charles, Missouri. Now, they have right here this estimate of $371,000. If we hover over that, pops up and says, this isn't an appraisal. It's simply a starting point. So I love just kind of their honest disclaimer right out of the gate. They're owned by Zillow, so they're utilizing similar data points to Zillow's Zestimate. The problem with these online estimates is it's not taking into account anything locally that's going on, which I'll get to in a second, or the condition of the property. So for instance, if the entire street was ripped up for road work, somebody's probably not going to pay top dollar to get to live through that. Similarly, if the house next door is boarded up, it's probably going to hurt your property values. It's not going to take into account things like that. Also, it's not going to take into account any repairs or updates that the property needs. So if the home needed a full renovation that was going to cost $100,000, it's not going to take that into account either. Now, we don't want to just roll off of these estimates. We want to dig a little bit deeper than that. So if we scroll down here a little bit, we can see kind of the price history of your property or this property in this instance. If we go down a little bit further, though, I love how easy they make this compared to Zillow. They've got what sold nearby in a very tightly clustered area. When we're trying to find a home value, we want to look at comps or comparable sales. So when we're talking comparable sales, it needs to have sold recently, and it needs to be very similar in size and bed and bath layout. This particular house is right at 2,100 square foot. So for instance, I wouldn't view this one as comparable. The general rule of thumb is you want to be within 20% the size of the house. So maybe down to 1,700 up to 2,500, but 3,200 simply isn't going to work for us. Similarly, we want it to be as recent as possible. I'm shooting this in January of 25. So this sale that happened, for instance, back in 3, 2, 1. I'm shooting this video in January of 25. So for instance, this sale that happened back in March of 24, that's pretty old. I probably don't want to go off of that one. So if I was looking at just this quick list here, 3, 2, 1. So if I was looking at kind of just this quick list here, this one to me actually looks super accurate, and so does this one below it. Now, we'll notice there's no sales prices listed. I use this example intentionally because it's in Missouri, which is a non-disclosure state. In non-disclosure states, they're not legally required to, it's not public record to share the sales price. What that means is the only way to get an accurate valuation is going to be to bring in a licensed real estate agent. It's going to be to have a broker's price opinion done, which you'd pay a couple bucks for, or to get a full-blown appraisal done. So we're kind of just getting a rough estimate based on the value here. In order to really firm it up, we would need somebody that has access to that data. Now, one other thing that I want to point out with a lot of these online tools in non-disclosure states, they don't have the sales price listed. So the best we can roll off of is the most recent listed price or what the property went pending for. Now, the National Association of Realtors says that 98%-ish of properties sell for their list price. So this person didn't get 415,000. That was maybe the price that was on the contract, but this number isn't going to include real estate commissions, closing costs, or anything that the buyer asked for. Like maybe they asked for a credit to help with their down payment or help with closing costs or something. But it gives us kind of a rough starting point. So what we would want to do is look at this property and determine, does this property look like our house or not? The other one that I liked on here, because it was recent as well as nearby, was this guy here on Walnut Creek. So we'd want to go through these pictures, and there's quite a big difference between these two houses. So if we look at this one, smaller kitchen, it's a decent home. It's in good shape. The carpet appears to be newer, or at least recently cleaned. Some hardwoods. As we get up to like the master bath, though, it's pretty dated. This is kind of odd. Why they painted the ceiling like that, I don't know. Why they painted the ceiling like that, I don't know. If they ever see this video, my apologies. If we go look at this property, it's significantly nicer, right? It's a much larger kitchen. The master bath on this, like built-ins are great and stuff. Master bath is very different, right? Huge walk-in shower, some nice wood and trim work and things. So this particular property pended for, I should say, because we don't know what it actually sold for, 415,000, whereas this one came in right at 360. So we have to have kind of an honest conversation with ourselves of, between these options, where does it seem like I'm lining up the most? Now, we've got a free calculator that you can plug in the price as well as the square footage on comps you're looking at, as well as your house, that'll kind of do the math for you to come up with a price per square footage. If I was just doing the math, though, of kind of adding these together, we've got 415,000 plus 360,000 gets us to 775,000. If we divide that by 2, we're looking at $387,500. To be transparent, I think that might be a little high given how nice that other property was, unless this one on Ridgetop here is just like beautifully remodeled, but doesn't quite look to be comparable. So I actually don't know that I super disagree with their estimate in this instance, assuming this property was remodeled and ready to go. 3, 2, 1. If you would like a member of my team to run comps on your house for you, tell 3, 2, 1. If you'd like to have one of our team members at SoldFast.com run comps for you, make you a cash offer, tell you what your house is worth on the market if you don't do anything, as well as what it's worth if the place is fully remodeled and needs nothing, go to SoldFast.com and just fill out the form. 3, 2, 1. On behalf of everyone in our office, we want to thank you for your time, and I hope that you have a fantastic day.